I kind of feel the most about kind of talking about changing my luck here, retired, changing my luck, so to speak. And I should make like a thumbnail with like playing cards or poker chips or stack of money or something. But that's not me. I'm not into those things. That's fine if somebody else is. So I don't mean like, oh, while you're gambling luck or being lucky or getting lucky. It's a little bit like, I mean, if, in one hand, it feels like closing the corral after the horse is already out, right? You're already retired. It's already, geez, it's maybe too late to do anything. And then, I really start focusing more on me and making what I want happen and figuring out what I want. And then, and what's best for me, what's a good compromise. It's all a compromise, but it's never too late. I've learned that lesson in my retirement. I've really learned that it's never. You're always thinking. Oh, to me, I was always thinking in the past. It's kind of too late. I already missed that opportunity. Oh, there's always another opportunity around the corner. There just always is. I think before you retire, your obligations, right? I think a lot of guys put themselves last. You make sure you take care of your spouse, your kids. If you've got people you're managing at work or employees at a business you own, whether it's a small business like what I had, or some guys have bigger businesses and stuff, you tend to think of everybody else and worry about everybody else. And if you're in any kind of leadership position, you're sort of supposed to, right? But now it's kind of your time. It's my time, right? There wasn't exactly a whole lot of great advice floating around when I was a young guy, but I did stumble upon some good advice from time to time, and eventually I learned to seek out and find some good mentors, which made all the difference in my life. Going into college, somebody told me, it's the one time in your life you're supposed to be selfish. You need to focus on yourself, make that like your time. And I took that advice to heart, and that was successful. And Jesus is 40 years ago. That's a little weird, isn't it? I chose always to focus on me and my goals, financial, money, life, all that stuff. And those all obviously build upon one another. And that worked out well. That worked out well for me. Retirement's like the same thing as college or school or learning a trade or going somewhere in an apprenticeship. That's your time to be selfish. You got to focus on you and building your skills. But now it's your time to focus on you because it's fair. And Fawn and her family accept that. I was about to say, I think most guys here understand that about themselves and put themselves first, but that's not really true. As I was about to say that, I just kind of quickly ran through it, and that's not true. A lot of guys have gotten, it's like a record that's stuck in a groove. They're kind of stuck in that groove of pleasing a woman, compromising their life. Is an extreme effort to please a woman in their life. It's up to them, but they're twisting their life to fit somebody else, and that's not working so good. In fact, there's one guy, I ran into him at a restaurant around here, out remote, which is, you don't run into too many, Western guys out here. So it's like, and he seemed kind of normal. And I was like, wow. He had a really weird haircut. He had like a super weird, like a I know this is gonna sound strange, but he had like the Dumb and Dumber, what was that comedian? I'll put it on the screen. Just drawing a blank. I'm tired, and I thought that was weird. But he seemed normal. I'm like, okay, he's got a weird haircut. Who cares, right? But he seems normal. And then a couple months later, turns out I knew a guy that knew him, and it just got weird. Everything about that guy got weird, and then it turned out that he's one of those guys that just is like a slave to his Thai wife. He won't do anything or go anywhere without her approval. I guess if that makes you happy, But my point is, I doubt that makes anybody happy, and I certainly don't tend to see that as fair, especially for the guy footing the bill for everything. There is definitely a percentage of guys that just go right back into that role. And I know some people threw that at me saying, well, geez, Rob, you're doing that, and, no, I mean, I like it quiet. I don't need to be dating the lady of the month or the, whatever. And that's fine. If somebody else wants to do that, that's fine. As everybody, regular viewers know, my health wouldn't support that if I did want it. I've had enough excitement in my life working and my career for me, being a small independent inventor and small business entrepreneur, holy crap, that was enough excitement for 4 lifetimes. Like, I just like it calm. I like my relationship. This is what I've discovered for me. I like my relationship to be my home base. I like it to be a source of support, encouragement, help, assistance with everything. And that's what I get from Fawn. And she's generally a good person and wants to provide all those things. Yeah, there's a little negotiating and wrangling in the beginning of any relationship. She had to kind of calm down. I had to kind of calm down, and all that. I'm in a total fish out of water situation here. One mistake I did make here is I moved out into the villages way too quickly. I had no concept. Moving to Thailand would be difficult, and then moving to the villages would be yet again as foreign. Like, that still surprises me it's that different, but it is. So, I mean, some guys fall into kind of that trap, and now I don't, because Fawn is here's a good expectation. Traditional Italian women typically want the man to be a leader. They typically want a strong kind of a manly man. They don't really want a softie necessarily. They seem to go for the leadership, stronger-willed, sort of emotionally stronger guys. I think that's just what I think I see. You can call that what you want, I guess. But Fawn definitely likes that, but she wasn't used to it, and she wanted to kind of. There's some back and forth in the beginning, more about what we were doing and when and all that, and I kept calling. I'm like, no, that's not what I want. It's not my decision. My decision is next Tuesday we do that, and then this we're doing, and it's better because these reasons. And then that's, if you got other thoughts, share them, but otherwise it's better for these other reasons. We're doing this and that. And after a while, she's like, "Oh, this is nice. No, I like this. This is good." So it just works for us, But I think that's a common thing here. So that's been a good thing. Establishing a good relationship is kind of, you call it changing your luck or whatever, And financially, my gosh, you change your luck here financially, huge. The baht has been staying at around give it higher and lower, but averaging around 36 baht to the dollar for the last year, give or something. This isn't the currency exchange channel, but something like that. Okay, when I got here, it was more 32, 33, a little lower. It's gone up to 38 and a half, almost 39. I think. I know it was over 38 for a fact, but I think it was even close to 39, which was awesome. So, relationship-wise, it's easier. If you get into it, if you kind of adapt to the culture, it's easier. I would say that's fair. I think it comes down to, my son was talking to me about this. He made a comment. He goes, "Well, Dad, you put the work in, and that's a big difference. To me, I've always felt like I know an awful lot about a person, the real person, when they no longer have to be nice to somebody else. So if someone's promoted at their work, or work peripheral to something I was doing, or somehow got a lot of social power or authority over other people near them for whatever, a family dynamic or whatever the heck it was. Or in another way, another example of this, a day-to-day example of this is service people, servers at a restaurant, service staff at a hotel. How somebody treats those people, because you don't have to be nice to them. How they treat, sales associates in the store and stuff, and it tells you a lot about a person, doesn't it? And you get that here, because as foreigners, we get to kind of opt out of the culture. I kind of immersed in all that, but I still talk about how nice it is that I get to opt out whenever I want, and nobody bothers me. So you get to opt out, so that's fine. But also you see people that you can opt out, but also you can just kind of, there's that heavy veneer of politeness that's really required, a burden on the Thais, and foreigners can kind of be pretty rude to them, and won't react. Generally speaking, they won't react. They might not like you. They might not be thinking very good thoughts about you, but they won't react. And you see people taking advantage of that, But good people to avoid right there, along with that guy with the weird haircut. It was so weird. I've never seen an adult literally with that haircut, and then he turned out to be such a nut. He was really out there. You get that a lot here. You get that, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because there's nothing to ground you. But back to my son's comment, I was putting the work in, and that's works for me, and I recommend it. I'm not telling anybody else what they should do, But for me, it's been absolutely wonderful to work on my physical rehab, kind of clear my head and kind of calm down from the recent divorce, forced retirement, all the pretty big stressors, right? Moving. I've been staying at the little apartment with Fawn. I mean, again, it's a one room, 4 by 5 meters, plus a tiny hallway and a little back porch, a little front porch, and a bathroom. But it's only one room. It's just a bedroom efficiency, 4 by 5 meters. It's teensy, and about the happiest I've been in a long time. So a big place apparently doesn't make me happy. Next week, the last of the stainless steel shows up, and the wall will be done. And give it, say, 2 weeks to get that all installed. And then I think I just sit for a while, and then the rainy season's starting here soon, and should be any time now. And then that'll settle the land, and then we'll go buy some trees. A friend of mine here says he knows of a place. He sent me their phone number and stuff that he bought some trees. They're really cheap, whether that was a one-time deal or whether they have super cheap trees all the time. Tongue twister. I don't know, but we're going to go check it out. It was nice of him to send that information, though, so I'm going to check it. Probably good. Should help. And then after just planting some trees, I'm sitting again for like 6 more months, and then my plan is to use my Visa 800,000 baht, my Bet Sand baht, to build the house, because it's like so basically I get like a free house, because I had to post 800,000 baht to have a visa before, and now I'm just doing the monthly installment qualification, which I believe I qualify for now. You never know. It's sort of like I feel almost like it's one of those little bars that keeps moving as you make all the qualifications. Oh, but did you get this one? I think it's a little bit of that, but technically you are supposed to be able to earmark each month and bring over at or excess of 65,000 baht from a single qualified pension source and make a visa out of that in lieu of the 800,000 baht. I've had different guys report different results with doing that or attempting to do that. So I've been fairly forewarned that it's difficult, and I think I have all the qualifications set. I should. But we won't really know until I go and renew my current visa the last time, hopefully on the 800, and then I'll go forward, So we'll see. And that should be enough money to build my tiny house and maybe even do the pool. Probably not with the pool, but maybe get it started or something. I'm just going to do a tiny little pool just to dip in and cool off within a hot day. I don't want to sit in the air conditioning too. When it gets hot right now, there's days I'm like, yeah, I've had it. And I'll just go inside and turn the air on, And the new place is going to have 2 rooms, 2 separate air conditioners, and then plus a big shady area and a pool. So I should have more places to move around and get comfortable, which would be nice, right? Wouldn't that be pleasant in a retirement to have some more choices and more different relaxing options? I like that. I'll make sure I set up a nice spot where I can make my YouTube videos from. But I'm back to changing my luck again. So, I feel like with my focus on me more and everything, it's like everything is like working. Where before there were so many moving pieces with taking care of a spouse, kids, career, employees, competitors, whatever. You couldn't always make a plan and have it always work out. That just isn't how life works. And now it's kind of almost like that. It's like I'll make a plan and it works because, one, as we get older, we get more life experience. I turned 60 this month. So, I'm getting better at planning. And everything is a job, right? Another good piece of advice I got back in the day was in college. They said being a student's like a job, and it was true. By my senior year, I felt like I was running the place. My first semester at Michigan State was rough. I was a little bitter. It was harder than I expected, and it took me a couple semesters to get used to it. And I guess this is the same thing here. No, I feel like everything is just going better and easier, and my plans are just kind of scary consistently coming to fruition here, which was not happening back home before. I'm expected to do very little to really help Fawn and her family, her boys and her parents and stuff, and I do a little bit. and they make it very clear, hey, that's great, a little bit, and they're totally happy. They're very considerate about not asking for or putting any pressure on me for any more. In fact, if I offer more, sometimes they'll turn it down. And Fawn, since she still works, again, I haven't retired her. Most guys retire their Thai wives. It's financially a lot easier. I mean, she has a nice salary. She's got a very good job. She's right over there doing her stuff, and that takes a lot of pressure off of me too. It'll be nice to get this construction behind me. In another year from now, it should be done, other than maybe pecking away at a pool or adding a gazebo for my workouts or something, and then see again how my finances are going month by month living in the new house. Shouldn't be much different. There's no property tax here, and not that I've ever seen, and the utilities are cheap, and I only pay $20-$30 a month for electricity. So I don't know how on the internet expats were complaining how expensive electricity was. I was like literally almost everything I found out about Thailand before I got here was like 180 degrees wrong. I'm probably listening to the wrong people. But anyways, no. So there's my concept of luck and changing it, and that's what I found out. It's just that I think it's all about the focus and a little bit of life experience at this point. We all have that, but I think it's just the focus, and then and it feels good to choose productive goals and fun activities and things based on whatever I can do, of course. And man, I just enjoy the hell out of that. I'm happy to the point, like I just told Dave, he's coming soon, and he's a travel guy. He wants to 24/7 travel. He's like 5 coffees a day, travel, drive 3-4 hours a day, fly here, go there. I mean, he's an animal, Now he slows that down when he's with me, which is extremely considerate of him, especially considering how important that is to him. He's very considerate. But I told him, I said, look, you got a lot of travel you want to do. I'm not going to be able to go with you on a lot of it. I'm just not feeling up to it right now. I'm just barely clawing my way out of this acupuncture and all this other stuff, and I've got to see if I can get to if I'm going to need a surgery next year or not. That's got to be my number one focus right now. So, and financially, I'm just, I don't want to put any more strain on myself. I'm just building the house, and so I really want to take it easy. And he's like, cool. So we're going to do, I think, one easy trip together, and then between trips, when he always comes back home, we'll just meet for coffee and stuff. And he can tell me all about it. That's fine. The rest of this year, that's all I want. So, but that's working. I guess there you go, changing my luck. Thanks. Make my own bonus footage. Again, slice of life. Borrowing Fawn's car. Nothing bad for her. They're all working extra hours. She worked till 11:30 last night, which was Sunday, by the way. And beautiful sunrise. And anyway, so I'm going to get her green tea from her favorite shop. Nice place, nice lady that runs it. Today's workout day, shoulder day. I want to take it really easy, still climbing back out. It's such a relief. It's like I have not gotten acclimated to the fact that I have pension income just coming in that's generous, that I don't have to do anything or much anyways to keep it coming in. And I have to do almost nothing. Well, one pension I literally do nothing, and the other one I do very little. I just have to keep an eye on it. Isn't that interesting, though? I just shot the footage, so you see I'm wearing the same shirt. Changing my luck in Thailand is probably what I'm going to call. Oh, it's weird because when I wanted like any house I owned, when I wanted it, how my wife and I wanted it, then we had to do it ourselves. I did it myself. Me and my boy, a couple friends, whatever. Take control of. My point is, I had to take control of the construction and make it the way you wanted. And then when I ultimately kind of wanted a dream car, and I was kind of into the Japanese. I love classic American muscle. I'm a bit of a Mopar guy. If you're a car guy, there you go. Anything with a Hemi in it is cool, in my opinion. I don't care what it is. But I also kind of like the Japanese tuner scene, and I wanted a Fast and Furious style tuner car, Paul Walker kind of style, and I did, and I built this high-strung, crazy, totally illegal car can't believe I sold it, and I left the country. So if he's putting it on the road, that's up to him. I loved it, but I rebuilt that car and made it my own. But it drove the way I wanted it to, and that thing was unbelievable how it drove. I mean, you'd spend well over 6 figures getting a car to duplicate that level of handling and performance and feel and everything that car had. Say I had 2 full rigid race seats with a harness bar, full harnesses, no seat belts. I mean, the whole extreme. I wanted it, and I did it myself as much as I could, and I brought in expert friends that, and here I am again. I've taken total control of my retirement. I took control of my my big 401k. I can trade in that, and some you can't. They're through an institution, and you don't get any control. I had full control. Mine was private, and I had full control. And I ended up firing the last money manager that I had. Well, and also in fairness, it was one of my college roommates and one of my best friends that was running it for me through I'll put it on the screen if I think of the name of the damn place. Edward Jones. And he made me a fortune. I mean, I couldn't believe how much money he made me. I mean, my portfolio, which was significant anyways, doubled in like 3 years, which, I mean, some of that's market, but some of that was him. Not everybody's money doubled, believe me. And I was praising him up and down, but then he ended up kind of having a midlife crisis and changing what we want to call it. I'm not saying anything negative. He had just a total shift, and he just shifted his life and, wrapped up his second divorce and just said, heck with it. And, and me and another mutual friend coincidentally gave him the same piece of advice a month apart. Go pursue your dream. And his dream was to go somewhere and do something, and he'd always talked about it. And point being, after he left, the performance just went away from Edward Jones. The new guy just wasn't a shadow of my friend. So I just took it over myself. And it just, shockingly, I not quite to the performance of what my friend could do, but you get the idea. I used to just feel like I was just getting screwed over every year. Everybody's making all this money. The S&P 500 is going up so much, and I'm getting a fraction of that, a tiny fraction of that. And I was just like, you can't keep missing out every year and eventually expect to retire on time. That's not like mathematically feasible. And here I am in Thailand, and I needed to kind of take control of my relationship with Fawn. Now, she's super happy. I make all her dreams come true. She can come in with me and live in America if she wants. She prefers to stay here. I said, I'll support you on that. You can stay here. I'll go back and forth like Davo. It's a secure relationship, which is nice. And, fine. But I take control of that. And it's like, which brings me to Trent Reznor. There was a fascinating interview, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, but Trent Reznor was interviewed. I do not recall at all who interviewed him. Whoever it was very good. And they asked him if he was a control freak, like a Superman complex control freak. And he goes, well, I don't really think of myself in those terms. He goes, but there is evidence to suggest, and he's laughing, that could be the case, because he goes, it has not escaped my attention, or some kind of phraseology like that. I play all my own instruments on my album. I do the lyrics. I write the lyrics. I sing the lyrics. I produce the music, I record the music, and he does every aspect of it. And he goes, and he sort of looks at the interview and he goes, so there is evidence to suggest, and he kind of leaves it, which was funny. And I'd have to admit to being the same way, so I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'm a Superman complex guy or something, or maybe you're just always better off if you want something done right. You got to do it yourself, right? I couldn't say one way or the other. There you go. My name is Rob, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. I meant every word I just said with respect.